So next we are at the Hillside Villas in Audrina's apartment. Before I go further, I have to point out that in this shot we see behind Audrina, there is a photo on the wall of her own headshot.
Yes, I
what?
saw the same thing. I was like, does she have headshots of herself in black and white framed on her wall?
They were like sexy shots too.
I kind of love that, you guys.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to a new episode of Millennial TeaV. We are your hosts, Liz, Candace, and Adrian, and today we will be recapping episode 9 from season 1 of The Hills, Love is Not a Maybe Thing. If you're not already following us on social media, you can find us on Instagram at Millennial TeaV, that's TEAV, and on YouTube at Millennial TeaV Podcast. Before we start today's recap, let's talk about this week's pop culture news. Alrighty, so for pop culture today, I am going to talk about Aaron Goodwin from Ghost Adventures and his wife Victoria, who recently tried to hire a hitman to murder him. Aaron has been on Ghost Adventures with Zach. I think it says his last name is Bagans. I always said Baggins, but I'm pretty sure it's Bagans. Since they started the show in 2008, and if you're not sure who I'm talking about, Zach is the ghost hunter who is pretty notorious for trying to like intimidate ghosts into attacking or possessing him. He's like very aggressive to the ghosts. If you've ever turned on the Travel Channel, I'm sure you have come across the show. And Aaron is the one that's usually picked on by Zach to go into spooky areas by himself. Like, Aaron, go in that pitch black basement in this insane asylum. Or Aaron, go in this jail cell while I lock you in for the night. We all leave. So... Poor Aaron, he's got it really hard on the show. But at the beginning of March, Aaron's wife, Victoria, was arrested for hiring a hitman to try and have Aaron murdered. She'd been in contact with an inmate in Florida, Grant Amato, and she started contacting Grant in prison after watching a documentary that was made about him titled Click Alt Desire. And I looked this guy up because I'd never heard of him, and he shot and killed his father, mother, and brother in 2019, and he tried to plot it as a murder-suicide by his brother. So I'm just like, okay, this is the person you chose to, like, reach out to in prison.
Creepy.
So the police confiscated a phone that he had, and they found romantic texts and Facebook messages between Grant and Victoria, and then also the plot to have Aaron murdered. And they went as far as to hire a hitman. They gave him $25 payment up front.
$2,500.
$2,500. Did I say $25?
$25.
It's a bargain.
Yeah. That's a steal, man.
$25 to kill your husband.
And then she provided the hitman with Aaron's filming times and locations in California for when he would be there this past October. And they found texts from Grant to the hitman saying things like, he's asleep right now in the hotel room. I need to know what's going on. Can I get an update? Was it done? And the hitman didn't go through with it, so it's not clear why at this point. But after being arrested, Victoria is now claiming that she never wanted Aaron to be killed and says she was daydreaming or fantasizing about being without a husband. And she claims to not remember sending the messages about the murder, but one of the texts from her to Grant said, "Am I a bad person because I chose to end his existence and not divorce?"
What?
Right? So I just feel so bad. Aaron is like the nicest guy. Like if you go on like the Ghost Adventures subreddit, people are like talking about like meeting him in person and stuff like that. And everybody's like, he's the coolest. He's like so down to earth. And like, it's just like, why would his wife want to murder him? And like, he obviously had no idea about it because just a month ago on Valentine's Day, he put up this like lovey-dovey post about her and stuff. So he's like totally clueless.
Oh my God.
That's awful.
I know. So the craziest thing though is that Aaron got a phone call from the police informing him of his wife's arrest while they were filming an episode of the show, and it was all captured on camera. So it hasn't been said yet if this is going to be included in the episode yet, but I'm like, you guys better show that because it's going to be like the most viewed episode of all time. So we'll see if Aaron's okay with it or not. But I just think it's kind of interesting. Some people have theories that because of all of these ridiculous things that Zach has made Aaron do, that maybe Aaron had a curse put on him, or maybe some sort of demonic entity attached itself to him and
Oh
took over his
my
wife.
God.
So, like, since he's been to so many haunted places, it is interesting to read people's, like, speculations of, like, maybe it was when Zach made him go do this thing and this demon attached itself and he took it home and it took over Victoria. And I'm like,
Oh God.
I don't think that happened, but it's interesting seeing people talk about it.
This is awful because we talk about this kind of
I
stuff on
know.
our Halloween
I
episode and how
know.
scared we are of possessions and stuff like that. So, oh my God.
I'm so skeptical that it has anything to do with the paranormal. I think
Mhm.
it's a coincidence that that's what he does for a living.
I agree.
But I'm
Yeah.
weirdly not surprised by this story at all because I have heard so many true crime stories where stuff like this happens.
Mhm.
There was a really popular one like a couple years ago where he was like, it was on like a bunch of Dateline episodes, or 2020, and he's like a buffer guy, and like she's like, she looks like she's from Joyzy, you know,
Mhm.
like a like a Guidette, and she fully there's like video of her meeting with this hitman
Oh
to
my
like
gosh.
Oh, in the car,
yes,
is
yes,
it?
yes.
Mhm.
So if you guys
Yes.
have heard of this, it was
Mhm.
so popular for a little bit, but fully tried to kill her husband and then acted like so upset when the police told her that he died. Like they faked his death so that they could get a confession out of
Oh,
her.
I remember. I did watch
Um,
this at Dateline. I remember
yeah,
this too. Yeah.
yeah,
Okay.
and it like that happened, and then there was another woman who used like howtokillyourhusband.com or like something crazy that is like an actual joke site.
Wow.
And it wasn't real. And when the people of the site got the hit, they were like, is this a joke? Like, does somebody really think
Oh
like
my
we're gonna do
gosh.
this? And then they got her that way. But like this happens all the time. And I don't understand what the motive, like, okay, I know the motive is like life insurance usually,
Mhm.
but like I just get divorced and then get spousal
Exactly.
support.
Exactly.
Like,
Yes.
I'm just so confused.
I
Like, why is
know.
it death?
I'm always blown away too by the small amount of money that a hitman will take to literally kill someone. Cause like
I
the
know.
whole amount they were gonna give him, I read was like $11,000 or like $11,500. That's it to like take someone's life. I'm like, that's what a life is worth. Like that's
You know,
insane to me.
it's crazy these days, but maybe he had to lower his prices because things are getting crazy.
Getting tough
I
out
mean,
there, yeah.
eggs prices are skyrocketing.
Not only is that low though, like, is that worth it to go to
I
jail
know.
for $11,000? Like, you lose your life,
If you're a good hitman, you're not going to lose your life.
but maybe for the ones that are bad, it's like free room and board.
That's true.
You
Yeah.
know?
Yeah.
I've heard that where people are like, jail is not that bad. Like, you get a roof over your head. I'm like,
No, listen, that is a whole storyline on Orange is the New Black that like once they get released, they don't know what to do because like it's hard to like get reestablished and like
yeah, really
Yeah.
hard
especially
to
after
transition
you're like a
back.
felon, you know what I
Oh,
mean?
yeah.
So like then it's like, well, what do? I can't do anything. I might as well just commit a
go
crime and
back.
go back to jail.
Yeah.
Mhm. So maybe that explains why it's so cheap.
Maybe.
Maybe. Personally, if I was a hitman, I would charge $1 million.
Right? Like way more than like $11,000.
And would you get away with it?
No, I'd be a terrible hit woman. Are you kidding? I told you guys, I'm the one that immediately cries and tells the police everything. Like
Yeah.
I'm not the girl you want committing crimes for you. But if I were a hit woman, definitely $1 million a hit. And it may or may not actually get done. So
you're also a scam artist.
Yeah. It's like that's the mystery of me. You give me the
Yeah.
money and it may or may not happen. If I have the opportunity, it might happen.
It's a risk worth taking.
I know.
Yes.
I have no timeline on it. If I run into him one day, you know.
Yeah.
Don't tell me where he lives.
Yeah.
If I run into him and I recognize him from this picture, I'll do it.
Yeah.
I'm a relaxed hit woman, you know. If it comes my way, pop, pop, bam.
You know, I'd never heard of this show before, but I feel like it's great publicity.
Oh,
It
'Cause
is.
If
yeah.
this thing does air on TV, like I'll definitely check out
Yes.
that episode at least. But like I'm sure they're gonna get so many people tuning in
Oh,
just
yeah.
to like
Just to see if
that.
they talk about it at all, probably.
I can't wait for the
Mhm.
true crime documentary because that's my
Oh,
that's my
totally.
jam.
I gotta know why she did it.
I
Yeah.
know. And just like why that prisoner, like when I looked him up, like I saw a photo of him and stuff and I was just like, ew, like he's very like
Yeah.
weird
Not
and
hot?
scrawny looking. He's not good looking at all. Like
And
it's
there are
just
Oh.
some
very weird.
hot like inmates
Mhm.
that you like, you know,
Yeah.
like everyone's
There
talking
was that
about
model.
Luigi Mangione and how he's
Mhm.
cute. Everyone's talking about that model, yes, with the
Jeremy
blue eyes.
something.
Mhm.
Yeah, everyone's talking about him. There are choices out there, ladies, if you're gonna go for an inmate.
Yeah.
I mean, there's a whole TLC show about it.
I
Mhm.
love
Love
After
Look
Lockup
After
or
Lockup.
whatever.
That is a good show.
I just saw a preview for that, and the girl was like, I have an older gentleman that I interact with, and he's my sugar daddy, and he puts like money on my commissary. And if I'm just like, hey, can I get like $70 on my commissary? He's like, absolutely. I'm like,
oh my god.
Kyle and I have been binging that recently. We're almost through like just the second season, so it's like older episodes, but like some of these guys will send women, like one of them, he said he sent her over $100,000 while she was
oh
in
my
jail.
God.
And he's
Oh
like,
my
I
god.
know she's buying drugs with it and stuff like that, but like I want to be her man or whatever. So it's a really good show. You guys should watch it. Yeah. So trashy. So trashy.
I know. I listen. Sometimes it feels good to just watch trash and rot your brain a little bit.
Oh yeah.
This is why we're here. This is what we do. Okay,
Yes.
we like to.
Yeah. You're not here for class.
You're
okay?
not
Except
here
when we're
for
watching The Hills
Except for-
together. But
The Hills. Listen though, Laguna Beach and The Hills, as far as reality TV, is like top tier. Like it's not quite.
it's not trash.
No, it's not bottom of the
No.
barrel. Okay, it's not. It's not The Simple Life.
Even The Simple Life was like, I feel like Jersey Shore came along and really took it like down to the trash
When I
bin.
think trash reality, I think Flavor of Love, Rock of Love.
Oh, yes,
Yeah.
absolutely.
That's like bottom of the barrel trash reality.
That show like makes you feel like dirty or like kind of slimy while you're watching it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it really, 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 really does.
Well, yeah, I guess to wrap it up, good on Aaron. I saw that he actually like he finally addressed the situation a little bit on Instagram and he like thanked everybody for the support and he officially filed for divorce already. So he's taken steps in the right direction, I guess.
Thank God.
Thank God. I would worry about him if he didn't file.
Maybe there will be some good spirits and ghosts out there to
Yeah.
like surround him with good energy.
Ooh,
You know, none of this
yeah.
possession shit.
Maybe there was a ghost that was like looking after him and was like, "No, I'm gonna protect you." So like he had like a
See,
guardian angel or
love-
something. Yeah.
I like it. I like how we spun that into a positive.
Yes.
I'm super skeptical about that or about that show, but you know. I'm gonna say that is very positive thinking, ladies.
Yeah, I know.
Well, let us know your thoughts if you watched Ghost Adventures, if you'll tune in for the big episode of the phone call, and yeah, it'll be interesting. All right, so now let's get on to the episode. So in the previously on, Lauren tells us that Heidi and Jordan's relationship has had its ups and downs, and they never saw eye to eye on anything. Jason surprised her with a romantic dinner for her birthday, but the evening didn't go exactly as planned. Now summer is around the corner and she's so excited for work and school to be over, but she still doesn't know what will happen with her and Jason, and Heidi was questioning if her relationship with Jordan was meant to be.
Yeah, I love how last episode Jordan wanted to act like their relationship was perfect in comparison to Lauren and Jason, and the first thing we see is all their fights.
Mhm.
And we're on the downslope of the Heidi and Jordan relationship.
Like, when did that happen?
Came
That was
out of
like
nowhere.
yeah.
It did come out of nowhere, but I think we'll talk about it more as the episode goes on, but he does talk to her like she's like a piece of shit.
Yeah.
Yes.
I can see why she felt this way and everything, yeah.
And I'm sure he like has grown as a person and like realizes that he didn't talk to her very nicely, but like I'm just like I wouldn't put up with somebody talking to me like that either.
No. In the first scene, we are at Cafe Tartine, I think that's how you say it, with Heidi and Audrina. And Audrina asks Heidi how long she and Jordan have been together, and Heidi says 7 or 8 months. Heidi says they're over the honeymoon phase, but Audrina tells her they seem like the perfect couple. Heidi makes a comment that she thinks he could be jealous or mad about her job, and she says they've been bickering lately and she never has time to herself. She says that sometimes Jordan will snap at her and she'll tell him that he can't do that. Audrina says that whatever's supposed to happen will happen, and Heidi says that she feels like their relationship is on the verge of a turning point, but she doesn't know exactly what that will be.
It's like, we're gonna break up or we're gonna get married.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I think she just outgrew the relationship, to be totally honest. She was
Mhm.
like, I deserve more, and I don't like this, and I don't like the way it makes me feel anymore. Honestly, it's a very mature way to be. So I don't know, good for Heidi. And she looked really cute in this scene. I liked her top.
Oh, I loved her top. I did not like Audrina's purse, like her big chunky bag. It had like jewels all over. I thought it was so ugly. But I thought Heidi looked really pretty.
Yeah,
She
good
did.
for Heidi for knowing, like, what she accepts, like, being treated in a
Mhm.
relationship and what she doesn't at
Yeah.
such a young age.
Yes.
Yeah.
And I thought Audrina said something interesting was that she's never been in a serious long-term relationship. So she has different boy problems because
Mhm.
she, like, I guess is, like, always dating, but just has never dated someone for a
Yeah.
long time.
You said you're proud of Heidi for knowing what she deserves at this age or whatever. And there's a line she says later in the episode that's like my favorite thing. She says, and okay if I act like a princess, but like I deserve to be treated like a princess.
Mhm.
Like, and I was like,
Yeah.
good for you for not like internalizing that and like being like, wow, I really am like high maintenance. You know what I mean? Like, she was
Right.
like, no,
Yeah.
I deserve that. Like, I deserve to be treated nicely.
Yeah.
And I was like, you know what? That's like a big deal for a girl that age to like say that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It is. Yeah. So next we are at the Hillside Villas in Audrina's apartment, and she answers the door to Heidi, who is on the phone and is in the middle of a fight with Jordan. It seemed really tense, and Heidi is telling Jordan not to cuss at her. And she hangs up on him and starts crying to Audrina. Before I go further, I have to point out that in this shot we see behind Audrina, there is a photo on the wall of her own headshot. And I was like, what? Like,
Yes,
who
I
does
saw
that?
the same
See that.
thing. I was like, does she have headshots of herself
Of
in
herself.
black and white
Yeah.
framed on her wall?
They were like sexy shots too.
I kind of love that,
I
you
kind
guys.
of right. I kind of love the vibe, but it's also it reminds me of, you know how Heidi and Spencer have those two giant pictures of
Oh,
themselves in their
yeah.
living room. It was giving me that, like it was-
Totally. Just a little bit cheaper.
Yeah. Yeah.
So Heidi is crying that Jordan is cussing and yelling at her, and she doesn't know what to do. Audrina gives her this really fast, like weird half hug, and then they sit down and she asks why he's yelling at her. And Heidi says it's because she won't go get him, and she said that she was with Audrina, and then he just started screaming at her. She says she never does that to him, and Audrina agrees and says that she deserves better. Heidi says she used to be so strong, and she feels like she's been broken down little by little. Audrina tells her she needs a break from him, and Heidi says she wants someone who is going to love her so much and treat her like a princess. She says she knows what she has to do, but she doesn't know how to get there. Just another note I made was that I thought the vibe of Audrina's apartment was really weird. It was like very
It was
big and
weird.
elaborate decorations. There was like a cheetah statue by the couch. Just totally different from Lauren and Heidi's
Her vibe
apartment.
is so weird. I know, but you have to
Yeah.
remember, like, she also lives by herself, as far as we
Mhm.
know. So, like, whatever. She does whatever she wants.
Whatever
No.
goes.
Yeah.
That's fine. I'm just like, it's not my style. You know,
Yeah.
it's like,
Not at all.
okay.
Not at all.
So we are then at Teen Vogue in the closet with Lauren and Whitney, and Whitney asks Lauren how her birthday was, and Lauren says it was good and mellow. She tells her about the hotel and dinner setup that Jason put together, and Whitney says she's impressed with guys like that. She says, these guys are so young, but they know what to do.
But what about the other parts, Lauren?
Exactly, all the stuff you left out about the
Yeah.
fight and the awkwardness and the
Well,
not talking to
nobody-
each other.
Everybody edits, right? You don't want people to think that your boyfriend's a shitty guy, right?
Of
Yeah.
course.
But I love a good old-fashioned high ponytail on Lauren. It looks so cute. And, of course, we see the snakeskin headband again.
Again.
Again. And, oh, she just looks amazing. And then Whitney, the outfit and the hair were everything in this scene.
Oh no. Okay.
You didn't like it?
Remind
I-
me what she was wearing. I don't remember.
I wrote she wore pearls, and I only wrote I hate the look because she looks so old lady.
That's right. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Because
I
Lauren
love
said
it.
like she looked very I can't remember
Ladylike,
what Lauren said.
she
Ladylike. That's right. Yeah.
I was
okay.
like, girl, let's go get a high tea.
Ah!
So we're back at the Hillside Villas, and Heidi's about to have the talk with Jordan. She tells him how she's been thinking a lot about him snapping at her, and this last time was the straw that broke the camel's back. She tells him it hurts her feelings and says it's a combination of the words he says and how he talks to her. Jordan tells her that's not who he is, and he says he's not going to completely reconstruct who he is to become this calm person. And Heidi says, okay, but you can't watch how you talk to me a little bit? Jordan says when he's passionate and gets going like this, he will watch what he says that is mean to her. Heidi says she feels like if he loved her, then he would try to be more calm and understanding rather than snapping at her. And Jordan says, sometimes you have this whole little princess persona, like I have to cater to you all the time. Heidi interrupts him to say, I'm a girl. I should be a princess. How you treat me is a big deal.
How you treat me is a big deal. Like,
Yes.
Heidi with these, like, empowering quotes coming out here. Like, I just love it. Yes, how you treat me is a big deal. And it is. It is.
She says that she caters to him a lot and treats him like a prince. And Jordan says, if I'm going to do something, I'm going to do something. That's just the way I am. Then he calls for Bella, the dog, and Heidi gets up and says they should both think about it. Jordan says he's going to go on a run, and Heidi asks to get all your adrenaline out. And Jordan says he loves her, and she tells him that she'll see him tomorrow. And Jordan's like, tomorrow? Like, I'm not coming back? And she says, tonight he's not. And Jordan, like, rolls his eyes, and he's like, shut up. And then he leaves. And then when he leaves, Heidi walks to the drawer and, like, dramatically locks both of the locks behind him.
I loved that.
I know.
She was like, you are not coming over tonight. It is not on.
That was good. I love the locks, yeah.
Yeah.
How did you guys feel about how Jordan acted in this scene? It was frustrating to watch.
I think he's young and stupid and just
Yeah.
doesn't want to do the things that he needs to do to make Heidi happy.
Yeah.
The thing is, she's very clearly communicating what she wants and what she needs for the relationship to be a success. He doesn't want to do those things. And he's also clearly communicating that he does not want to do those things. So, like,
Yeah.
it was better for them to break up.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
It was. She's like, I want this. And he's like, no, I can't give you that. And that's when you know it's over.
Yeah.
So it doesn't necessarily mean they're like bad, right? People, they just like don't fit in the relationship together.
Yeah.
But I do see it in a world where like what Heidi wants could be some of what she's asking for in terms of like treat me like a princess could be unreasonable. And I only
Mhm.
say that just because of what we've seen of Heidi in the season so far with her
Sure.
not wanting to go to work, like
Sure.
her whole
Right.
attitude there. So like that could be true too, which is why Jordan gets mad. But
Sure.
if that is not what each other wants to give or expects in a partner,
It's not going to work.
then you split and you just go find somebody else.
Yep.
Next, we are at Manny's bakery with Jason and Lauren, and he tells her that he can't believe she's 20, and she says she'll never again be a teenager. Jason asks if she likes what they did on her birthday, and she says yeah, and he asks if she did anything with her parents for her birthday. She says her parents would really like to take them out to dinner, and says that they keep telling her this, and Jason says he'll think about it. Then he tells Lauren that he wants to get a house on the beach with her to spend the summer at. And she stares at him and says, come here and kiss me. They kiss and they leave the restaurant hand in hand, arm in arm, and they kiss some more while they're walking away.
I liked her headband, her big fabric headband.
Yeah,
Lauren just loves Jason so much, and it's like painful to watch.
it really is.
Dude, this is why we think they're so grown, because like who pays rent for two different places at the same time? Like if you're gonna go get that beach house in the summertime and you're 19, 20 years old, who's doing that? That's like a 40-year-old person's like thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's crazy. Like,
Yeah.
I can't imagine doing that at 20. I
Yeah.
can't imagine doing that now. Like,
Yeah,
that'd
I
be
can't
so
do it. I
expensive.
can't do
Yeah.
it now.
Don't you feel like MTV maybe rented the beach house for them?
No, because MTV
No?
didn't film them. So like, why would MTV pay for that?
Well, maybe they were going to film them. I don't know. Just a thought.
Next, we are at Pan Pacific Park with Brian and Jordan, and Jordan is filling him in on the talk with Heidi, and he says that he thinks there's something more to this than she's saying. Brian agrees and says that usually when girls get mad at something, it's usually something else that they're mad at, and they just don't want to tell you because you should know. Brian says he should call Heidi and tell her that he loves her, and that what they argued about was stupid. Brian says what would be really cool is if Jordan showed up to Heidi's work when she gets off for the day in a suit and tie with flowers and asks her out to dinner. And Jordan says he doesn't know if he wants to do that.
Okay. Brian's idea is so cute, and it's obvious
So
that
cute.
Jordan is just over it. You
Yeah.
know, like at that point, he's just over it. Like, he doesn't want to make the effort. He doesn't want to do that. He doesn't care
He's
that
too
much.
stubborn to
Yeah,
want to cave. Yeah.
So
Yeah.
yeah, it's just, and he totally under exaggerated to Brian about like how he talks to Heidi. He full on yells at her, and he's like, "I don't even talk to her that bad. Like, it's on camera." Like, you know.
And I'm sure Brian overheard a bunch of their fights too.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
We're then at Cafe Sushi, where Lauren and Heidi are having dinner. Heidi is telling Lauren about her talk with Jordan, and she says it started because he's been treating her really bad lately, and she hadn't said anything because she was going to let it go. Lauren says, boy problems are no fun. And Heidi says that they're the worst kind of problems you can have. Lauren tells her it's not a question of whether or not Jordan loves her, but it's a question of whether or not this relationship is going to work. And she says that whatever Heidi does, her and Jason are going to be there. Heidi says she feels like this could be her easy way out of the relationship, but another part of her is telling her she's really going to miss him. And she says she doesn't know the difference and doesn't know what she thinks. Lauren tells her, regardless, you're going to miss Jordan. You're going to miss even stupid things. Everything in your room is going to remind you of Jordan. And Heidi's just like silent. And Lauren says, love is not a maybe thing. You know when you love someone.
Iconic.
Oh,
Yeah.
I know.
Lauren is such the voice of reason, right?
Yeah.
Like, there are just some things that she says that you'll never forget. Love is not a maybe thing. You know when you love someone. Thank you, Lauren. Thank you. Words of wisdom. Lauren Conrad.
Heidi says that she loves him, but there's a difference between loving someone and being absolutely in love with someone. And Lauren asks her, are you absolutely in love with Jordan? And Heidi says no. Yeah, this was such a good scene.
Mm-hmm.
It's such a mature conversation for 20-year-olds to be having.
Yeah.
I don't
So
know.
honest.
Yeah,
it's,
so honest.
It's so true that you can love somebody without being in love with them.
Yeah.
That's actually the hardest kind of breakup, because you do love them. They're like a part of you. They have been for so long, but you're just not in it anymore. That's a hard lesson to learn.
It is. Even Lauren talking about like how everything in her room is going to remind her of him and stuff like that. Like, oh my gosh, like I haven't gone through a breakup in many, many years, but it is like that, you know. It's so true.
And this is the longest relationship that Heidi has been in, she said, right?
Mm-hmm.
So it's
Yeah.
like the hardest one for her, I'm sure, at the time.
Oh my gosh, yeah. The next scene, we see that it's raining in LA and Heidi's packing up all of Jordan's things from the apartment. I just had a note, he had so much stuff over there. I know he was like basically living there, but it was like bags and bags of things.
And the rain was such a vibe for this day for Heidi. Like,
I
it was
know.
so like, yeah. And then her like off the shoulder sweatshirt, like just packing up his things. I was like, this could not be written better. Like, you know what I mean?
No.
Like, this is like, this could be an actual television show that is scripted.
Yes.
This is a true breakup that we are seeing in real time.
Mm-hmm.
And like, this is why the show was so dynamic and real and popular. We literally see a breakup happening live. Like, you know, like it's something that you're normally not privy to. You hear about it later, you know?
Right.
Just very good television.
Yes. So Heidi's on the phone with her mom and she tells her that Jordan is coming over. She says she's so nervous and it's going to be so hard. She's taking down photos of them from the wall and tells her mom that just seeing all of this stuff makes her want to cry. Lauren is sitting on the couch tearing pages out of a magazine as Jordan walks in, and he doesn't say anything. He steps over all of his things and goes into Heidi's room. Jordan sits down on the bed and Heidi tells him that she just can't do this anymore. Jordan says that he can't either. And he tells her that he completely screwed things up, but that he loves her more than anything in the world. They're both crying, and Jordan says that he's tried to imagine his life without her, but he really can't. Heidi says it's not about if she loves him, because she loves him more than anything. It's about them not being the best for each other. She says she's done, and they've tried this, and Jordan interrupts her to ask, you don't think I'm the best for you? And she says no, and that they've been bringing out the worst in each other. Jordan says he can't live without her, and that he will do whatever it takes. And Heidi sighs and shakes her head and just says that she's done. And then after like a silent pause, Heidi gets up and she starts taking her key off of his key ring, and he gets up and walks out of her room and is like leaving the apartment. Heidi opens the door and is just like, "Goodbye, Jordan." And then Lauren and Heidi hug on the couch, and it's, oh my gosh, it was so emotional. And
So
then Heidi gets up and
emotional.
she's like, "I'm gonna go take a nap." But I was just like,
Aw.
yeah, it was so real. I felt so sad for both of them. It was hard to watch.
The best friend hug and hold with Lauren,
Ugh,
just so sweet.
know.
And I don't think Jordan ever really thought that Heidi would really break up with him. I think he like
Mhm.
realizes it in that moment. I don't buy his tears, I really don't. But I think that he was like, oh my god, she's actually breaking up with me. Like,
Yeah.
like this is happening. And I don't think that he thought that that was like a thing. But I'm very proud of Heidi for standing on business.
Yes.
It is hard when the person you're breaking up with is begging you. And
Mhm.
Jordan did try. So, I mean, good for Heidi.
Oh, totally. I'm so glad that she wasn't like, "Okay, we'll give it one more shot."
Right.
I thought she would.
Yeah.
I totally thought so too. And it's just like, well, it would have ended up back in this exact same conversation, like,
Mhm.
months later.
I think she was just done. She knew she was done.
I did hear from, like, interviews that Jordan's done, people had asked him, right, like, "How did you feel filming this breakup scene?" And he's like, "Well, when I walked into, like, filming that day, the producers that I usually see kinda, like, gave him, like, a weird look." He's like,
Mm,
looking back, it was like, "Sorry, man, like, you're walking into this." And so he was
Yeah.
like, there was already a weird vibe walking into it, and when he got there, he was like, "Oh, like, this breakup's happening." And he was actually heartbroken and sad, he said, so he
Yeah.
was just so
yeah.
shocked to react in that moment. But
Mm-hmm.
how weird. Imagine having, like, your breakup captured on camera, like, that is
So
just too
weird.
much.
Oh my gosh.
So
Yeah.
weird. Especially if you're like not fully aware that it's happening.
Yeah,
Mhm.
That would be really hard.
and I feel like you feel like you don't wanna say everything that you wanna say. At least I
Mhm.
would feel that way on camera.
And it feels like at this point, like they probably didn't talk to each other ever again. Like that's what it feels like.
That's
You
what
know what
it
I mean?
feels
She
like.
has like
Mhm.
all of his stuff ready. Like she's like,
Yep.
bye. Like she doesn't want any. She took her key. Like it very much feels like this is the last time that they had an interaction.
Yeah.
So next we are at the boys' apartment with Jason, Brian, and Jordan. And Jordan has just gotten home from the breakup, and Jason asks if he had talked to Heidi. He tells them that it's over, and they ask what happened and that it seemed like it was out of nowhere. Jordan tells them that Heidi packed all his stuff, took all his pictures down, and says that she's done. Jordan says maybe he should have thought about the way that he talked to her. And Brian's like, he's just in shock because Brian thought they were like Ken and Barbie. Jason said it blows his mind because he and Lauren would always come to them if they were fighting. And Jason says that he thought he and Lauren would be done way before they would. That comment really rubbed me the wrong way.
Yeah.
What a weird thing to say.
I know.
And like not him making it about him and Lauren. Like
Exactly.
we're not talking about
exactly.
you.
I know. Like, this is how your breakup is affecting me. Like,
Yeah.
just shut up, Jason.
I took that as, like, him I don't know, I thought he was trying to make them feel better by being like, "You guys look so perfect, like, we're such a damn mess, but you guys are awesome." But also, again, like, it does seem like it came out of left field to everyone because
Mm-hmm.
no one really saw Jordan and Heidi having as big of a problem, like, as Jason and Lauren had.
Mm-hmm.
That's true.
Jason and Lauren must be a damn mess right now,
Yeah.
fighting and crying every single time they go out.
We are then at Teen Vogue again in the closet, and Lauren is telling Whitney about Heidi and Jordan's breakup. Whitney is also shocked and asks if Jordan is devastated. Lauren says yes, and Whitney says that she really needs to call Heidi. Whitney asks if Heidi will be here for the summer, and Lauren says yes. And then Whitney asks Lauren if she will be here for the summer, and Lauren says she doesn't know if she's going to stay in her apartment, and then says that she and Jason have been looking at places in Malibu. She says for the summer she'd like to live closer to the water. Whitney asks what Heidi will do and if she'll stay in the apartment, and Lauren says that she doesn't know. She says Heidi knows they've been looking at beach houses, but it was before her and Jordan broke up, and Heidi had planned to live with Jordan for the summer. And Lauren says that she's not so sure anymore, and she looks sad about that. I thought this was kind of odd. So does that mean that their internship at Teen Vogue, like, it has a break for the summer, I guess? Like, all summer they don't do it?
Yes.
Yeah, I guess.
It's just
Yes.
weird.
I know. I watched a little bit of the next one already. I won't, like, talk too much about it, but I'm like, how much more evidence do you need that this internship is not real? When people hire interns, it's like, you work here for 4 months, goodbye. Like, thank you for
Right.
coming to help us. We are not going to help you like craft a career here. Like, that's not what this internship is. You just go and leave. But
Yeah.
these
Yeah.
girls clearly have like something to come back to.
Right.
I also just feel like I would stay with my friend who just got broken up with, but that's just me.
That is just you. I wouldn't. I would go with my boyfriend who I
No?
love.
Really?
No. Yeah. Why do I need to stay with you? Well, I didn't choose to break up with you.
Because you're like sad and I want to be here for your time in need.
No, girl. I got to go live my own life.
I mean, I can still see my boyfriend all summer, but like, I'm going to stay in the apartment with you so you're not alone.
Or I can stay with my boyfriend and then I can
Okay,
hang
all
out with
right.
you
In
during the
Malibu.
summer. Yeah.
Yeah, they could invite Heidi to come hang out at the beach house, I guess.
Not live with them. Just hang out.
No, just like visit.
I don't know.
Go to the
I
ocean.
think because I had a friend recently go through a pretty big breakup, I'm like, no, I'll be there for you. I'll stay with you all the time. But like, maybe like back then I wouldn't have had the like, I wouldn't have felt that. But like now I'm like, of course I will stay with you. But like, again, like when you're in a long-term relationship, you're not like trying to go to a beach. Like, you know what I mean? Like it's,
Mhm.
You
I'm-
are very much like that though. Like in a friendship, you are that friend.
You
Like
are,
a
yeah.
really good friend, I have to say.
Thank
And
you. Oh, you guys.
you are, because how you talk about like doing this stuff, I'm like, yeah, I wouldn't. I would be there for them, but I gotta live my own life too.
I know. I am. It's actually like, I talk to my therapist about this all the time. Because I'm very like, if I'm your friend, like if you are having a bad time, I am like 100% there for you. And like, I am like, I want to be like, you know, your person, like you're a part of me. I want to help you. And like, sometimes that's not a good thing.
But do you go out of that feeling exhausted?
Sometimes I'm like, I'm way too invested in this and I like need to step back. But I'm just really like, I've always been really empathetic of other people and like their situations. And like, I just like, I feel heavy like towards other people and their what they're going through. So like, I don't know, I just always am like, of course I will be there for you, because it's what I would want somebody to do for me.
Yeah.
I have learned like you can't expect everybody to act the same way that you do in situations, which was like kind of a hard pill to swallow for me. Like, I'm like, well, I would do it for you, but like everybody's not the same. So I am like overly empathetic when it comes to people suffering. So I probably would stay with my friend just because I would feel bad that they were going to be alone.
I think that's really sweet. Us knowing you, I think that we know that you would do that. But again, we always say it's so interesting because we all are so like different in terms of personalities, like all out there.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I would not. I wouldn't. Liz, how about you?
20-year-old me, I would have gone with my boyfriend. Yeah, for sure. I hate saying that, but it's true. Yeah.
I don't know if that's me now or if it was me back then. Like 20-year-old me, like maybe I would have chosen a guy. Like,
okay, but how about you now?
No, now I wouldn't.
Now I still would.
No, I wouldn't. I would stay with my friend. Like if I was in a relationship and we planned to go to like the beach all summer and I lived with my friend and she had just gone through a breakup, I would be like, we can do that later.
Liz?
I don't know what I would do now. Like,
I guess it's so different because you're married with children.
Yeah.
Well, but still, it's like, I guess it just would depend on the situation and how intense the breakup, you know what I mean? Like, it would just depend on the details.
Right. Like, if they didn't really care, like, if they were not, like, you know, then that's one thing. But if, like, they were absolutely devastated, I don't know. I think I would just want to be there. And maybe not all summer, but I wouldn't leave immediately. You know what I mean? Like, I just...
Right. Maybe, like, shift your plans a little bit. Yeah.
Could you imagine being broken up with and it's like your first real relationship and then your best friend and roommate is like, I'm going to be gone all summer and you're going to be alone. Sorry.
Yeah, but she's not going far, you guys.
No, they're going to be like an hour away from each other.
But it's like, I also don't have my boyfriend now and my best friend's leaving and it's a lot at one time. I don't know.
Y'all are nice people.
Adrian's like, bye, I gotta go swimming.
Yeah.
Well, I always just feel, and maybe this is like a selfish way of thinking, but I'm like, I don't want to stop my life because of what's happening in like someone else's. And I would be there for that person as much as I can, but I also think I can only hold space for so much before it starts to affect my life in a negative way. Because I think, yeah, like if I hear it too much, like it starts to impact me and makes me feel really like unhappy. And it becomes my life when I'm like, this isn't even happening to me. Like, why am I
Mhm.
feeling so like bogged down with stuff like that? So I think I want to protect my peace by not going in too much,
Yeah.
if
Mhm.
that makes sense.
Yeah.
No, that makes sense. Yeah.
I get it. Again, I think I'm too empathetic and you are like where you should be. Like, I think, like, you know, honestly, like, you shouldn't invest so much of yourself into somebody else.
But I think you are deemed like a really good friend.
Yes.
I try to be a good friend.
That's what it is. In this scene, actually, I think Lauren does the flit, as Candace calls it.
Perfection, though.
What does it mean? Flit. Flat.
Like
Oh,
a
flat hair?
Yeah, flat, like a flit. Like, I don't know. It just like a flit.
And
A
I really
flat
like
flip.
it.
Yeah. I know, I
Yeah.
like it too. I thought she looked really good.
So, in our last scene, Heidi is telling Audrina about the breakup. And she says it's the hardest thing she's ever had to do. And Audrina tells her that for the next couple of weeks, it's going to be hard. Heidi says she knows, and it's just so sad that it's over. She says that she just has to be really careful with her heart right now. Audrina says it's going to be so different now because she's never seen Heidi without a boy. And Audrina is excited and says, at least I got my little buddy back, someone to hang out with all the time. And they both say that they should start tonight. And Heidi says it's the first night of her new life. And she says that they'll be going out every night now.
Yes, Audrina and Heidi's
Yes.
single era. Let's go.
And the perfect song plays as we fade out of the episode. Did it play on you guys?
What was it?
It played on mine, but what was it?
It was Natasha Bedingfield's single.
Oh, yes.
Because
I'm
Yes,
single.
Oh my god, I love
Yeah,
that
it's
song.
so good.
I don't think it played because I didn't notice it, but yeah, I loved that song when I was. Of course, it's like I wasn't single by choice when that song came out, but I was like living it up, you know.
It was just the perfect like outro. I was like, yes, MTV,
Mhm.
good pick.
That was a quick episode. My goodness.
I know.
What did you guys think about that one?
It was, I mean, so much happened,
Mm-hmm.
but it
Yeah.
did feel like it went really quick.
Mhm.
And I love Heidi. I'm so proud of her for
yeah,
standing up for herself.
I agree. I loved seeing Heidi come into her like empowerment era.
Yes.
You know, like she realized what she deserved. She asked for it and she knew she wasn't gonna get it, so she said bye-bye.
Did you guys have a favorite outfit?
I put Lauren's dress when they were in Teen Vogue, but if you ask me what she was wearing, I'm totally blanking and I can't think about it anymore. But that was it when I was watching the episode. We'll post a picture on our Instagram.
Heidi's top at lunch with Audrina at the beginning.
That was mine too. There weren't really that many like crazy outfits that stood out to me in this one, really, because it was mostly just the breakup was like the big part of it, and they were just in like comfy clothes.
In hoodies. Yeah.
Yeah.
I did like her off the shoulder like sweatshirt.
She looked cute.
Yeah, it was cute.
And what about favorite moment?
Just Heidi being so firm on like what she
Mhm.
wanted. Like that was really nice to see.
I will say the actual breakup, because it was so raw and real. Like obviously it's not like fun to watch somebody get broken up with, but like it was just very like it was just a good scene. It was raw, it was real, it was reality, it was good.
Yeah.
It was good.
I said mine was Heidi and Lauren at dinner together right before the breakup, just because again, such a mature conversation.
Mhm.
Just their friendship at that point is everything.
Yeah. Agreed.
So next week we will be doing the finale of season 1, episode 10, hosted by Candace. It'll be super exciting, and yeah, everybody better tune in for that. Don't want to miss it.
You better tune in, guys.
Yeah. Thank you for tuning in to Millennial TeaV. If you enjoyed this episode, we'd love it if you'd subscribe to the podcast, leave us a review, and share us with a friend. We'd also love it if you'd check out our YouTube channel at Millennial TeaV Podcast and follow us on Instagram at Millennial TeaV. That's Millennial TeaV. If you'd like to send us a message, you can also email us at millennialtv@gmail.com. Thanks for listening.